Hello, it's that time again. Get up, get off the couch, and tackle your own to-do list. Welcome to Just Ask Bob Live. I am your host, Bob Assadourian. This show is interactive. The key of this show is not only are we teaching you how to perform renovations, but it's your emails, your telephone calls, and your tweets, your correspondence that's the basis for every single episode. Believe us, this show has two goals in mind. Number one and foremost, DIY, do it yourself. We want you to watch the program, research the internet, always observe safety, and tackle your projects yourself. All the bragging rights go to you, the homeowner, whether it's that beautiful backyard oasis, or whether it's your kitchen, basement, or bathroom, or a simple fix like replacing a toilet or a faucet. Very, very important that you understand safety, though. Safety must always be observed. Now, if for whatever reason you cannot get up and off the couch, whether it's safety, whether the ladder's not tall enough, you hire out. Now, on this program, episode by episode, we're going to demystify the process of hiring your own contractor. Number one is the licensing. In a moment, you'll see my license on the screen. So this is actually important. Unlike reality television, the host of today's show is actually licensed. Now, why does the license matter? It varies. Some municipalities in Ontario do not license their contractors. Other municipalities do. Specifically, my city, Hamilton, Ontario, cares. So the contractor is pre-screened, pre-vetted, has written a 2-hour examination on the building code and passed with flying colors, shown a police clearance, proven the police clearance to the city before being issued his license card, and has also proven that he carries minimum $2 million liability insurance. Now, why is this important? Many will condemn the license, or many will say it's not what I call it out to be. But trust me, the license is the foundation to the relationship. The license is no guarantee the paint line will be perfect. There will be no paint runs. The license is not a guarantee that the mirror he installs in your newly finished bathroom will be centered and will be installed straight. Those are minor matters that the city does not get involved in. Those are matters between you and the contractor. However, the license is critical. I mean, it's a starting point. I can almost guarantee you absolutely nearly zero chance that a licensed, proper contractor is out to intentionally screw you or steal your money. Now, the opposite side of the coin, the unlicensed and crooked overcharging contractor, high chance, very, very high chance. And at least in my community here, 85% of contractors are not licensed. You know, open your mind's eye and think, have you ever had what I call the grumpy contractor in your home? Ask him one question while he's working on your paid job, and he'll bark the answer. Ask him 2 questions, and he'll bark so loud, you'll leave that kitchen or basement, not want to be near him, and not re-enter. You know, I like to say it, the right contractor for you and your own home. That's important. So the contractor your neighbors used or the contractor your coworker recommended may not necessarily be the right contractor for you. So that's very important to understand. 2 goals, DIY, do it yourself, or hire out, but hire out smart. Now, we do have a contest running. Our contest is for a video submission. You can win a $50 Home Depot gift card. Submit your renovation question to Just Ask Bob Live. Your video could be featured on an upcoming episode. Very important that you turn your camera sideways so the video appears widescreen like your TV. Video should be no longer than 30 seconds. Go to cable14.com/AskBobContest for full details and to submit your video. Now, for those of you that are shy, not to worry. Bob guarantees the contest is for everybody. If for whatever reason you don't want to appear in your own video, simply stand behind your smartphone or camcorder, take a video of a faucet or a roof or, some brickwork that's crumbling maybe outside of your home, and talk through your question and then submit it. That will qualify you for the 1 of 4 $50 Home Depot gift cards. And remember, this show is interactive. You communicate back and forth with us. We want your questions. Email them to askbob@cable14.com. Tweet them at Just Ask Bob. Or if you're old school, pick up the phone, 905-645-3232. Bob welcomes your questions on any topic. from the foundation to the rooftop and everything in between. And also contractor issues. Did the grumpy contractor really get on your nerves? Was the workmanship shoddy? Did he steal your deposit and run away with it? Call all those questions into this program, and one of your emails or questions may be featured as a future episode. Now, we're going to kick it off with an email we have here today. Hey, Bob, I am considering buying a home to use for rental income. Lots of money can be made in this type of business, and I am very handy at renovating. Bob, I would really appreciate any tips, ideas, and advice that you can offer me. Thank you very much for the question. Yes, it is true. An awful lot of money can be made in income suites, whether it's a basement income suite or you're renting out the entire home or you're breaking it up into 2 units. However, a lot of money can also be lost in legal income suites. Now, the key word is legal. I've researched this topic very, very carefully, even as far as researching meetings that are being done or have been done in the past at our local city council here in Hamilton. Now, in my estimation, I'm being very modest here, being very careful. At least, and I believe it's much higher, at least 50% of rentals in our community are what Bob calls illegal rentals. No fire separation, no working smoke alarms, no working carbon monoxide alarms, no separate entranceways, a fire trap waiting to happen. That's very important that, whether it's your children for being students or whether it's yourself that you live somewhere where you're renting the property, please make certain that it's legal. There's a lot of ways you can look into that, and through a lot of the information on this program, we're going to clearly demystify the difference between legal income suite and illegal income suite. Now, last episode, you met my good friend John Tenbrink, who's the owner of the Wiring Pros. Today, he's on the show wearing a much different hat. He's what I like to call the king of legal, and that's cap locks, legal income suites. We're going to have him on the show on the footage that's coming up. Enjoy the footage and stay tuned. And let me introduce my good friend John Tenbrink, the king of basement income suites. You may remember John from the other episode. John, socially distancing.
Elbows.
Okay, elbows this time. I hate COVID. I miss a nice handshake, especially with my good friend. But there's a very special reason I call this young man the king of basement income suites, because in fact he is. He wears many hats. All of you know him for many, many seasons now on Just Ask Bob and Just Ask Bob Live as our favorite electrician. John, put on your other hat. Tell the viewers the big change in your life.
Hi everyone, I'm John from Blackjack Contracting this time. So we're a general contracting firm specializing in investor construction. Our main market is converting single-family homes to duplexes. So yeah, we're proud to be the new host of the REI Contractor Show too, and we're going to educate investors and homeowners how to turn their houses into income.
How did this come about? We've always joked about, my gosh, we even had episodes where we'd compare whose license was bigger.
Yeah.
Mine always was, but you had more licenses. As an electrician, you hold, I believe, 4.
Three licenses for electrical. Yeah,
plus the certificate you hang on your wall. Okay, that's 4. In my case, it's 1 license, Master Building Repair, City of Hamilton. But we've always joked, me being the GC, general contractor, you being the master electrical contractor, but I mean, you crossed a big bridge here. You're in Reynolds now. You're in my land.
Yeah, we've been doing it for 3 years now. So we actually started as general contractors on a bet, and that's why we have our name Blackjack. So we were doing electrical work for these legal suites for another contractor, and it was just always messing the job. So sat down for lunch one day and said, I bet you I can do it better.
Blackjack Contracting.
Blackjack Contracting.
Where the house always wins.
That's right.
Gotta love the motto. Now, John, what makes you stand apart from anyone else in our community that thinks they can throw together a couple of pieces of drywall, a couple of studs, hey, rent out the basement, rent out the main floor, rent out the dormer upstairs? What makes you stand apart?
So we specialize in this now. So we don't work for homeowners. We're not competing with Bob.
No clash of the titans here.
No clash of the titans. We're in completely different worlds when it comes to the contracting business. So we specialize in working with real estate investors and people who are looking to generate income from their homes. So we've done 87 duplex conversions in county.
Wow.
And,
Congratulations, my friend.
So we don't really cross paths in the road other than I'll bring Bob in for some specialty advice or just to annoy him. But no, so that's what we do. We focus on investors. So we've learned how to speak the language and learn what their focus is, because on the ultimate end, it's not about a pretty product you're going to come live into. It's about a house that's safe, warm, and is generating income. So that's why we became specialists, and then we just, because we generalized and we focused on it, we got good at it, and now this is what we do.
I love the term specialist, and I've told the viewers this for ages. Bob doesn't do basement income suites. Due to WSIB requirements, I'm only allowed to work for, say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith that own the home, principal residence that they reside in. Otherwise, it becomes a commercial application. I don't work for the big B variety. I don't work for commercial applications at all. Absolutely no clash of the titans here. Actually, quite the opposite. We combine our efforts when John does all my company's electrical wiring work. So John, I'm very proud of you.
Appreciate it.
Now, you're also, one of your accolades, I believe, if I remember correctly, John is the youngest electrician in Ontario to pass the exam to become an electrician. Master. You also hold that status for being the king of basement income suites.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm not the first at the game. There's lots of people that do this, but I think we're one of the first ones that actually focus on it. But in the honest truth of the matter is, it's just by building relationships, and we have a lot of people that count on us. And we became part of the investor community. So we go to events, we sponsor them, we take care of them, we help them, and we work with even under marketing. We work with investors that specialize in doing investment real estate. So as we said before, we're not here to help the homeowner. We're here to help someone meet their financial goals, and we're even as a homeowner, if you want to generate income, we can help you turn your house into a cash flowing asset.
Excellent. I want to take a moment for the goal of this program. You've heard me use the word demystify a lot. Now, my community is Hamilton, Ontario. Let's demystify, with John's help, legal versus illegal basement income suites. I'll tell a quick story, and then John can take it off from there. Actually, you were at this job. Try to remember. Dundas, West Hamilton, close to Dundas.
Yes.
It was a renovation job. Now, the homeowner, the property owner from Toronto, he must have had 15 to 25 young students living in that home, renting off him. He had cubbies, he had shower curtain partitions, he had the works there. Bob doesn't ask what he's not supposed to ask. I don't cause trouble. Well, usually I do, but in this case I didn't. He hired me for some plumbing repairs. My plumbing repairs required a City of Hamilton building permit. I applied for the permit, it was taped to the living room wall. Inspector comes over to pass me. My work passed, that's fine. Instead of leaving, he hung around by the permit and he said, Bob, come here. He said, read this. He pointed to an area of the permit that said, single family residential home. And then he looked at me as these young kids were running up and down the stairs and through the home. And he said, what's going on here? How many students, how many people live here? I said, I have no idea. I was hired. I didn't do this under the table. I went to the city, applied for a permit. So to make a long story short, this landlord wasn't very bright because he knew he bought a single family home, zero fire protection, zero fire escapes, zero safety. Somebody could die in that home, and it would be a young person. And again, not very bright, the owner, because he agreed to me pulling a permit, which means the city will invade the property, so to speak, and find out this is as illegal as can be. Now, I know all your basement income suites are legal, or you wouldn't be the king with the crown. So take off from where I ended it there and explain to the people, because you know the codes, you know the zoning, you know the setbacks, you know everything when it comes to converting it.
The honest truth of the matter is I don't know everything, but that's the best thing is we hire the people to do. So we like these places are fully legal. They have to be zoned for a duplex or a triplex. This is a duplex we're standing in. They have to be. So first thing we have to do is we have to get a complete set of BCIN drawings. We have to apply for permits. In this particular case, it was delayed because it didn't meet parking requirements, so we had to add a parking spot to the backyard. But this is where we come in, is that we coordinate this all, so we will get the designers to design, we'll apply for the permits. These places are, don't get me wrong, they're not cheap to do because they're built so strong. These are fireproof, soundproof. There's a minimum sound rating between the units so they're comfortable. There's a minimum fire rating. There's $2,000 worth of smoke detectors in this house. And it's all to prevent for tenant safety, and that should be the utmost concern.
Legal, please, let me leave you with that note in your mind's eye. If you're going to do a basement income suite, make absolutely certain it's legal. Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live, the interactive show. Send Bob your emails at askbob@cable14.com, tweet us at Just Ask Bob, or pick up the phone and call 905-645-3232. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back.
Did you know that past episodes of Cable 14 programs are available for viewing on demand? Visit cable14now.com and browse through the available titles. When asked to sign in, select your service provider and enter your online account details. Then, sit back and enjoy hours of locally produced content wherever and whenever you want. Cable 14 Now is live, local, and online.
Sure, I nibble, but that doesn't make me a nibbler. I'm a social nibbler. I just do it when I'm out. It's not like I buy my own nibbles. I don't have to. I can just bum a nibble from my friends. I don't call myself a nibbler because I'm not addicted to it. It's just something I do for fun. I'm a social nibbler. Can't you see the difference?
Beyond the front lines, it's always vital to care. Dedicated teams at Hamilton Health Sciences are in place to care for COVID-19 patients while also meeting the needs of patients requiring other essential services. Your contribution to Hamilton Health Sciences Foundation ensures that our hospitals have vital tools and resources. You can define the new normal with your donation and contribute to a healthier future for everyone.
Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live. Now, we're on hold for our guest, John. We're going to try to take some emails here without John, but we will have him on the show shortly. Hello, Bob and John. We are looking at purchasing our first investment property in Hamilton. I am told some neighborhoods in the city are allowing rentals and some neighborhoods are not. Why is this? And do you know what neighborhoods are allowing rentals and or basement rentals for income suites? This is from Vince at Hamilton Central Mountain. Okay, Vince, really appreciate the question. Now, off the top of my head, the most important thing is, please, very easy number I'd like to put out here, 905-546-2424. Again, that's 905-546-2424. That's the city of Hamilton. For your particular confirmation of information, I believe you might have to speak to building department so they can confirm some of my answers. Because again, I'm not the king of legal income suites, so I'll try to help you out here. From what I understand and from my talks with our guest, John, generally for the longest time, Stony Creek, whether lower or upper, was not allowing the rental of basements, and I believe even main floors. Now, that's changed. Apparently, and John will confirm this later, but I'm sure on his information, if you pay $10,000 for a variance, that's an application to the city, it apparently seems that they're guaranteeing the outcome. And the outcome would be that your legal income suite would be allowed in Stony Creek, whether lower Stony Creek or Mountain. Now, when I found this information out from John, I was shocked. In my business dealing for variances, the only experience I have is some time ago, I was reconstructing, we're closing in a porch at the rear of a home, and the spacing to the fence was a little too close. So a variance at that time was $1,200, and what they were doing is sending out mail to all of the neighbors, and then there's a committee that views this, and nobody predetermines or guarantees the outcome. Whether in my case they would allow me to enclose the deck into a three-season sunroom, or whether they would decline it. Now, this seems to be very, very new with this $10,000 variance. And, a little bit shocking. I must say, I'm the first to say that when I heard about this, it sounds like a money grab or a cash grab for the main reason that they're practically guaranteeing the outcome that you will be allowed. So generally speaking, it is true. Different areas of the city are allowing income suites, others are not. So again, critically important, 905-546-2424. Now, as far as control room, can you put the question back on for just a moment? Because I believe it was two parts. Okay, it was in two parts. Okay, what areas of the city are allowing this? The mountain, heavily on the mountain, and I believe it's more central mountain. I'm not exactly certain if the area of the West Mountain is allowing it, but Central Mountain is definitely allowing it. So very important to get the information and get it always from the city. I'm very happy that you're caring, because there are a lot of, well over 50% or at least 50% of these legal income suites are illegal because the people are putting them into any home. And then when you start illegal, they may not have a fire escape. They may not have fire code drywall. There's a lot of ways you can get in trouble. So whether you're legal or illegal, as the landlord, you can be held legally responsible if somebody's hurt or maimed in your home because it was an illegal income suite. So please always be careful. We'll take another email here. Hey, John, this is directed to our guest, who I'm sure we'll have back shortly. I just bought a home, and it already had tenants in the basement. They have now left, and I'm looking for new tenants. Neighbor tells me that my basement was never legal rental suite. John, what should my next steps be? I purchased this home specifically because it had an existing basement rental suite with separate side door entrance for the tenants. Oh, this is Tina from Hamilton, and here's John. John, did you catch that reading?
I got the beginning of it. Yeah, sorry about that. I lost the connection. I think there was a power outage.
Oh, no, we'll put it back on. Control room, can you put it back on for John to see?
Hey, John, I just bought a home and already had tenants in the basement. They have now left, and I'm looking for new tenants. The neighbor tells me the basement was never a legal rental suite. John, what should I do? Next steps be? I purchased some specifically because I had an existing basement rental with a separate door entrance for tenants. Tina from Hamilton. Okay, so the first thing I would do is I would contact the city, and there's a public record whether the permits were actually pulled to create this as a single family or a two-family home. They will tell you right off the home whether this is a legal rental or not. If it's not, I would highly consider not renting it until you've gone through the process of legalizing it.
John, what do you think, though? I mean, I feel bad for the people.
I'll tell you the truth, I see this at least once a week. It's misrepresented in the listings. It's misrepresenting by the sellers, which is very popular in the industry. There is some nasty business that happens in this world. But now that you've gone through this, you don't want to get burned twice, so now's the time to do it right.
Well, John, you just touched on something important. I want to take off with it. So the person selling the home, I mean, we always heard about people BSing when they're selling a home, for whatever reason. They're not being full disclosure sometimes if the basement leaks. But in these cases, they can be very smart and portray the home as having a legal income suite. Now, the real estate agents, they launch off with that as well. Is this legal? Who vets this? I mean, or if anybody, can the realtors just list and state what the homeowner tells them? Is there any legal responsibility, A, on the homeowner, and B, on the real estate agent? Because I really feel bad for the person that buys it and says, hell, it was advertised, it was sold to me as having a legal income suite. Any recourse, anybody vetting these homeowners and these real estate agents, or is it the Wild West?
It's a bit of the Wild West, but they are illegally representing the home. The first thing I would do when I found it is contact your legal professional, your lawyer. Hopefully you find this out within the first, little while or not, because the longer it goes on, the less likely you're going to have a case.
Oh, yes.
But as a contractor, I've seen this before, never got involved with the litigation, obviously. So that's why we have.
Would it help, John?
Because that is falsely representing a home.
Okay, I would think again as a last bit of advice to take off with the legal advice, excellent. I would also suggest that any purchaser, I mean, just like in the home where you list if a chandelier stays with the home or if the fridge and stove or appliances are included, I would have in the legal purchase documentation for the home, I would ask that it be listed, typed out crystal clear, that this home is a legal income suite within it. That way, if it turns out to be illegal, then I'm not a lawyer, but I would clearly state in being obvious that there was fraud portrayed in the transaction via having it in writing. So back to what I say, at least with contractors and homeowners for their contracts, get it in writing. We've all heard that statement, get it in writing. So if they're portraying this as a legal home with a legal income basement suite in it for rental, have that put in the purchase agreement for the home. Now, John, you still with us? Okay, excellent.
I'm still here.
I'm really excited. The next one is a video question, and this lines up perfectly with you. Better suited to you than me. Control room, if you want to roll it.
Hey Bob, it's John here. I got a question for you. I'm building a little gazebo here. I want to run solar panel off of it. Just want to know what should I look for? What do I need? I'm looking for a couple of plugs, a whole bunch of lights, and maybe even possibly a fridge to run off of it. What's your best advice? Appreciate your help. Thank you.
Nice question.
Yeah, that was a great question. So solar panels are, they've been a touchy and interesting subject over the last 10 years. The cost of them have come down significant over the last 10 years. When they first came out, they were really expensive, but the government was paying extremely high rates. Now, the truth of the matter about solar panels is most of the time when you're installing them, you're selling the energy back to the grid. The problem with solar panels is that we don't really have great storage capacity because that solar that's generating any given second isn't enough to run what we want to run with it. So you need to store it, invert it. So that'd be like batteries. Now Tesla and companies like that are coming out with much, much better batteries. But unfortunately, the truth of the matter is that for what I understand, the video. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. The video submission, requested. I don't think that system is going to be ideal what he wants with it. I don't think it's going to have the capability without spending a fortune in storage and inverters. I think it's a great idea, solar panels, but I think you have to get into a more large installation before it's going to...
John, is there a system that's simple for the consumer, maybe something even locally available at big box stores?
Yes, sir.
Is there a way to simplify it?
There's some simple systems for like DC for like cars and stuff like that, but for AC, for what we use for our houses, not that I'm aware of that's going to be that simple that he could use.
Do you think, John, in the near future or not so near future, every home in Canada will be solar powered? Is our country behind in comparison to other countries around the world?
Yes, we are compared to some of the European countries and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the juice hasn't been worth the squeeze yet financially. I know it's great for the environment, but there's also some major issues with solar. It gets a little technical, but like DC power, which is what solar is. So we use AC in our homes, but sun comes in a DC form, direct current, and we have to change it from AC to DC. But the problem is DC is actually a pretty dangerous power source to have on your roof. So there was a lot of issues with fire departments, with solar departments. If there's ever a fire on your roof, how would they get through it? That kind of stuff. So they've come up with systems for it, but the cost versus the squeeze, I think we're years and years away before it'll be cheap enough to use and install before we see it done in mass use.
Okay, excellent, John, excellent. We're going to take for you another viewer's email.
Hello, John. I am told that fire and carbon monoxide detection is very involved, complicated, and costly to bring to your home, up to the needed code to rent out our basement. Can you explain this and further, please? Dave from Ancaster. So the legal smoke detector system right now that the government's mandated in the Ontario Building Code is quite intense. So basically now We're putting smoke detectors in every bedroom, all the hallways, furnace room, and they're done with these things with 2-in-1 strobes in the bedrooms and 3-in-1 in hallways with carbon monoxide detector. And they have to be interconnected. So a lot of the newer homes will have most of the wiring that we need already, but the older homes will have to retrofit that in. So, like on a legal suite that we're installing, there could be 9 or 10 smoke detectors in one property, and each one of those smoke detectors are $120 a piece. So yeah, it's not the cheapest thing, but it's super important. Uh, my personal opinion is that you should still use carbon monoxide detectors, plug-in ones near the floor, because carbon monoxide is a low-rising gas. So it's a rough thing to say, but if the carbon monoxide detector hits the ceiling, you're probably dead already. So I would recommend using the plug-in ones as well.
John, would you say that this type of fire and carbon monoxide protection, the extreme costs involved, because as you said, it can get expensive, would that be one of the contributing reasons or main reasons why Hamilton has probably over 50% illegal income suites, whether it's a whole home rental or whether it's simply a basement?
Absolutely. I think that the cost of the legalization and the requirements that we're required to do are a major factor in the fact why people don't do it right. Um, that doesn't justify it in my eyes, because you're taking a lot of risk and you're putting your tenants' lives at a lot of risk with some of the things that get skipped. But it's definitely a major contributing factor.
Well, that job, we talked about it earlier, you and I. It was many years ago. You were actually working for your old employer as an electrician. We were in West Hamilton. It was the home that was student rental. You remember that place?
I can remember that place.
Yes, yes. If you can recall, from what you've seen at least, I don't think that had practically any fire protection or carbon monoxide detection at all. Yeah, very scary over there. John, another thing too, you weren't able, we had some connectivity issues, and I was answering one of the questions earlier. Very good question regarding what neighborhoods in Hamilton will the city allow income rental suites and what neighborhoods in the city will it not allow. You and I talked about this before, and I want you to verify the horrendous $10,000 fee for, I forget what the fee's for, $10,000 fee for a variance. Can you please elaborate and take off on that? I want to make sure I absolutely clearly answered and correctly answered that viewer's email, because $10,000 for that variance application, which practically guarantees you the outcome, sounds like a money cash grab to me as far as the city's concerned. Please elaborate. You know best.
It's switching Wi-Fi networks. The computer just came back up. That's why I have a bad connection. I apologize. While I'm on this subject, Stony Creek just allowed last year the possibility of basement apartments with an automatically approved of zoning. It's $10,000, and it'll take 4 to 6 months, but it will be approved.
That's crazy. The
Very
variances that I deal with for my rentals are $1,200, and there's no guaranteed outcome. You know, if your deck's going to be maybe a few inches too close to the, to the setbacks. This is $10,000 the city takes, and they're allowing an income suite where a year ago it was not allowed for whatever reason.
That's right. And as an analysis, as an investor, that you guys are a homeowner, Stony Creek is already a high-priced market when it comes to getting in. So the likelihood that many people are going to do this legally, there's a lot of illegal rentals in Stony Creek. I know lots of them. And because they're throwing $10,000 at it, most people are just going to skip this process. I think it was a really silly decision on the part of City Council, and hopefully they reevaluate that.
I hope so too. I hope so.
On the other side of it, when we get into Hamilton, almost everywhere in Hamilton, so I'm not speaking of Ancaster or Dundas, for example, I'm going to talk about major city Hamilton. You can do legal suites, you can do investment properties. Now, zoning's still key. Like the customer he was from Hamilton Central Mountain, which is a very popular place to do this. And what will happen is that the parking is very key when it comes to doing legal suites, triplexes, that kind of thing. You have to have one car per spot, and it has to be side by side by side. It can't be tandem like this. And so sometimes what will happen is that might not be available at a site or your house within their allotted rules, because your driveway, your front lawn is mostly city property and you can't be on city property. That might require a minor variance. Now, a minor variance might be $1,500, that kind of dollars, and it could take 4 to 6 months. So it's still a little bit of an annoyance, but it's going to get you through the process and still make it legal. East Mountain, West Mountain, Central Mountain, anywhere from Centennial Parkway, really, except for there's a weird zone all the way into downtown Hamilton, can be investment properties, legal things. So when you are either shopping for a house or you have one already, there is people that specialize in getting these permits approved. We use BCIN approved drawings, guys, and the fee on that can be anywhere between $2,000 and $4,000, depending on who you use and which firm. And they're going to produce all the drawings. They're going to check your setbacks. They're going to check your parking, and if they're going to help you with the variance if you need it. Not too often it has to go to a variance. Most of the time we know that ahead of time. And after that, once that process goes through, that's where your contractor gets involved. Now, a guy like me, I facilitate it all, so I'll hire the designer for you. I'll get everything for you if you choose to, because this is what I do. But if you're into this as a DIY show, this can be done. I don't think the first time's a great idea. You can learn how to do it, though. It's not rocket science. There is some tricks and safety measures, but it definitely can be done as a homeowner.
Awesome. Thank you, John. And we have another email that just came in.
Hello, Bob and John. In Hamilton, there are a lot of situations where students are renting rooms in a home. How does this apply to rental units? Does each room need the same separation as a basement apartment would? Steve from Hamilton. No, student rentals are a little bit different. There's definitely, there's actually a space requirement. So you need so much living space per student, a square footage per student. You need a certain amount of washroom facilities. You need a certain amount of kitchens per student. You need, parking, fridges, smoke detectors, locks, and privacy. So it is a different process, but it's obviously not going to be the same as a single family rental. There is definitely going to be more rules involved. I believe that you should be even more safe with students because, quite honestly, students they got different priorities at that age in life, so they might not be thinking on a clear head on safety. As an electrician, you see some where you'll see 3 fridges in each room, but they're all connected together, so you got some serious overloading and wiring, and cooktops and all. You got to be super careful. So you got to be diligent as a landlord or somebody who's taking care of those properties. But it's not the same process as converting to like a duplex or a legal second suite.
Excellent. Great job, John. We've got another email here.
Hello, Bob and John. Is it really that hard and time-consuming to kick out tenants that will not pay their rent? Andrew from Hamilton. So,
hey, John, I knew you'd love this one.
This one is a really touchy subject, especially right now with COVID, because the government has basically frozen evictions.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong. I am not a legal expert in the LTV, but because I'm part of the investor community, I've heard nothing about this for the last,
excellent,
6 months.
Okay.
Right now, you pretty much cannot get rid of a tenant unless they're acting as a danger, or you have to do special conditions. Like if you want to do major renovations or move in, you got to give 90 days notice and pay them an extra month's rent. I have a friend that just went through that situation. Right now is not a great time to try to get rid of a tenant. The landlord tenant board, the LTB, they were 6 months backed up before COVID. So now you can imagine what they are. We've had all these government situations paying rent. We've had people not paying rent and they could not get rid of them. and it's going to be a year and a half to get this all cleaned up. I know the LTV is now doing Zoom calls or online calls to try to get the process started. There's a lot of great paralegals that can help you with this, serve in this community, and if you reach out to me, I can put you in touch with some people that specialize in this. But right now, my biggest recommendation is bring your patients, because it's not a great process right now.
Wow, John, that's amazing. I mean, to be honest here, my heart goes out to both. The people that honestly cannot pay, and the people, and for the landlords that need their income. However, my heart does not go out to the scammers, because I'm sure there's people that can pay but choose not to. But either way, John, we've got to take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break, and then immediately after break, we're going to be on one of John's job sites, and we're going to do a tour room by room, floor by floor of a legal Hamilton income suite. So stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Tara Prinali. Join us on The Opinionators at 2:30, 5:30, and 8:30 p.m. Thursdays, where we'll talk about federal and provincial issues and how they pertain to Hamilton.
Ready for seconds? How about firsts? Hamilton's food banks need your help. Please donate at feedthehammer.com.
In Canada, more than 13 million volunteers contribute over 2 billion hours every year. Volunteers support us in everything we do, and communities thrive because of it. At Volunteer Canada, we encourage and strengthen community involvement. We work with a broad range of partners to promote and support our shared vision of a vibrant Canada. To learn more, visit thenewvolunteer.ca, your connection to Canada's volunteering community.
Cancer connects us all. We all have a story to tell.
I was 13 years old when I first heard the word cancer.
Being diagnosed with colon cancer was an overwhelming shock.
This is me after my first clean scan.
I'm back to myself again.
Research, including clinical trials, helps to change the picture for cancer patients across Canada. Join Stand Up to Cancer Canada and the Canadian Cancer Society to learn more about the groundbreaking research that translates into life-saving treatments.
When I was young, I was plagued by fear and self-pity.
My life was in shambles.
At first, I never drank on the job, but eventually I did.
Removing alcohol wasn't enough. It left me depressed. That's where AA offered a solution.
I remember sitting in the AA meeting and thinking, I finally found a place where I belong.
AA not only keeps me sober, it helps me live a much better life.
If you have a problem with alcohol, contact AA. It works for me.
And for me.
And for me.
Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live with the king of basement income suites, John Tenbrink. Now, I know for the viewers out there, I promised you after the break, we're going to give you a tour level by level, room by room of this income suite. However, just prior to that, I think what's best is we're going to give you a picture slide tour. Now, there's a reason. From the beginning, point A, the investor purchasing the property, John being hired to convert it into an income rental suite, to getting to this point, you, the viewer, had no idea the disarray the home was found in and what it took to gut the place and get it to this point. So we're going to talk through these pictures. It's going to be a slideshow. Then we're going to go through the home and give you a tour. John, what do we got for picture one?
Okay, so this house was actually a student rental. This homeowner's actually owned this place for 10 years, but he had his students in there for years, but they really did a number on the property, so he got he decided he wanted to turn this into two nice family homes. So in this picture, we walk into the way the students left this place. We found electronics, some stuff, illicit stuff, some funny beer bottles, you know, all those things. So this is the way we found it. We actually took out 7 bins of this place before we could even start construction.
Wow, what a mess.
So this is the kitchen as we walked into. So I mean, it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it was falling apart and sure smelled bad. So we're kind of standing in the same kitchen right now, so you can see we're just waiting for countertops, and this place is almost wrapped up. Right here, we just got a picture of the new flooring that went down after the old one. We had all the hardwood that was pretty beat up, so we got our new flooring that went down. This is the basement after we did the complete demo. It was moldy, it was smelly, the wiring was a mess. So after we discovered this window that was smashed out by the previous owner that had no header, so the walls were actually collapsing in on it.
Wow, no permit. Do you find that often with situations like this?
Oh,
that not only are you hired to turn into an income basement suite, but you get snagged on items that were done illegally.
All the time. Like, that's usually about half the battle is, dealing with the existing conditions.
In my trade, we call that unforeseen.
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 Because of the real estate investor community is very budget conscious, and when they're doing these projects, they have to run the numbers ahead of time. I try to do the unforeseen for them. It doesn't always work, but I do my best.
What do we got here?
So this is framing as the basement complete. This is an example of framing once the basement's in. So you can't just frame like a normal house. We have to add some fire separation as we frame above the top plate, so we continue our fire rating to protect the floor above. Here's after this. So we've done an insulation job here. Now you'll notice in the ceiling that it's all rock solid insulation, which Bob loves. What we use that for is sound rating.
Bob does not love that pink. No pink.
Bob doesn't love that pink, but unfortunately we live in different worlds and it's a lot more cost effective. It meets minimum code. We're not building Taj Mahals, we're building warm, safe income suites, and this is what...
We're building to budget, it's an investment.
It's an investment, so it meets the code and the inspectors. Then here's an example of a finished basement. This one was not too far from it. It's not the same place. We want to show you an example. So this was a gut job. We got a brand new living room, kitchen light. You see the large natural light. Natural light is a big concern when we build basements because our living rooms have to meet 5% so you don't feel like you're in a dungeon.
What about fire escape? That window you should be able to get out.
That one is actually not a fire escape. Fire escapes have a different shape and they need to be they need to be a casement or a lift out because we want to make sure it's easy and a guy like me can get out the window no problem.
Shows you how much I know.
And this is just an example of a little kitchen that went the thing. Because we decided to put a peninsula in, we slammed this one together, but it looks beautiful, new clean appliance.
Room by room, level by level. Show them what you've done.
Alright, thanks, bud. We're in the first bedroom of 3 on the main floor, so basically when we got this house in pretty rough shape, so this house has all new floors, all new trim, all new doors, a couple new windows that were broken, so we're in bedroom 1, nothing special. They're clean, they're safe, they're warm, add smoke detectors for safety, and then we'll keep going. So on the way over here, we're on the way to bedroom number 2.
Decent size.
Yeah, all decent size, have nice big closets, nice big windows. And
all brand new?
Actually, not all brand new, just the ones that were broken in this house. And as we walk down the hallway here, hallway's been cleaned right up. And then to our right here, we have a bathroom. Now this one, all we did was replace the floor. This is actually an existing bathroom, not a lot going on in here. We'll replace the vanity when we go back here. And as we go over here, here's our last bedroom on the left here. Same thing, nothing crazy, nice big closet, and it's a safe and warm room.
Yeah, this one's got the closet.
Yeah, it's got all closets, nice big ones. So as we walk this way, we're at our main thing. To the right, we've already seen the kitchen, but in here we did a brand new kitchen. They're actually putting quartz countertops in there. That's usually an investor choice based on what they want to get for a refi, if that's their strategy. Over here we added a laundry to the main floor, so each unit will have their own laundry. There'll be a nice stacking machine here, so it'll be flowing functioning.
John, is it true most of these investors want quartz?
No.
It surprised me. I've heard many of them put quartz, and I'm thinking, if I bought it for an investment to rent out, I wouldn't necessarily buy expensive counters.
Not everybody puts quartz in. It was based on their investor choice. Now, see, there's a lot of different strategies in real estate investing. The new popular one's called the burn method. It's called buy, renovate, rent, and refinance. It's a strategy. So sometimes they'll add additional nicer features like quartz countertops to try to bring the value up. So they're going to take the money out, recycle it, and go do another one. Interesting. With a bank refi. And then sorry for the last thing, we're in a nice big living room here, so we've added pot lighting. If they're not in yet, obviously. Nice large window.
Who's your electrician?
I don't know. I hired a guy off the street. And as you walk down here, this is the front entry. So this has just been cleaned up, and we added an electrical panel to the main floor right here. So each unit's going to have their own hydrometer and pay their own bills. So if there's ever a break or trip, they just come to the front hallway and they'll be able to repair it from here, and they don't ever have to answer the basement unit. It's an independent garage from the structure. The nice thing about that is sometimes people rent out the garage extra for extra income for storage. Now the house isn't much on the outside right now, but in about a week or so, we're actually going to replace the complete facade on the outside with new siding. It's in pretty rough shape. There's definitely water damage here. We're going to address that now so they'll never have to fix it again.
Lots of work outside.
Lots of work outside. So as we walk down this way, we're going down to our basement. Now excuse the mess, it was just drywall today, so there's dust everywhere, but we're going to give you an idea.
Well, that'll help. High-tech security.
As you walk right here, this used to be the staircase going upstairs. So what we've done is we've removed the staircase so they're completely independent units, and we filled in the drywall, and this is fire rated so it can't penetrate. The existing walls are plaster. They have a built-in fire rating because they're almost a concrete mix. So when you use new drywall, we use fire rated drywall, but the plaster itself is fine. Okay, as we walk downstairs here, as this place was big and nasty and it had these big old columns. So what we've done here is we replaced the big old block column with a steel telepost. It gives it a more open concept feel and it won't be so large. So down here it's a 2-bedroom unit. That's the owner's choice. 2 or 3 is usually common unless you have a smaller basement, and then there's 1 unit. Each city has their own different size requirements. In Hamilton, to do a legal second suite without doing a variance, you have to have a minimum of 750 square feet. So over here, this is our kitchen area. The kitchen will go here, and there's going to be a peninsula coming off the wall here. As you see right here, we've framed in the windows and we've lowered them because they had that structure issue, so we've added new headers, as Bobby's pointing out right here.
This can obviously be used as a fire escape.
Yeah, so right here we have a brand new window going in. This one is for natural light and egress, so we're going to have a slider that'll meet the requirements, and the window will be deep so a body can get outside. So what's going to happen here, we're going to end up cutting this in, and we're going to put a large new window here, and it's going to brighten up that space.
Because that's going to bring in tons of light.
By law, there has to be a certain percentage of light in your living room. So as we walk down this way, excuse the drywall on this, as I'm standing on, this is bedroom number 1. So bedrooms have to have a minimum light requirement. These are way above. You only need 2.5%. This is also one that you probably get your body out, no problem. So this was constructed from brand new scratch. This is all new framing, all new insulation, all new wiring, all new HVAC, everything. So these are completely new. They've been inspected. They get inspected 5 or 6 times during the process. So we're now obviously we're at the drywall stage. Very soon we're going to have mud and tapers come in, and we won't have an inspector back until at the very end.
Bathroom.
As we walk down this way, actually I'm going to show you bedroom number 2, sorry, since we're down here. Bedroom number 2, same size, nice closet. Over here, this is a little bit of a storage space, and we have our electrical panel here. Now we haven't done the hydro service here yet. This is going to be shrunk down to a 100 amp panel. This is where all the wiring for this lower unit is going to be thing. And then in here we're probably going to do a pantry space. As we walk down here, over here we have a nice double closet for storage. Now as we walk in here, this is our furnace room and our hot water tank room. I'm not going to bring you in there, it's kind of dark. But this is actually fire rated from the walls. The ceiling, believe it or not, is not fire rated because it's part of the same unit as upstairs. The walls are separated from sound and fire.
Interesting.
Lots
of codes, lots of regulations.
Right here we have our stackable laundry. So as you can see, we have receptacles, venting, water. So this is where our laundry station is going to be. And this is where we walk into a bathroom. Now this one's a little different shape than normal, but it's going to be quite nice. To my left, we have the toilet station, and over here we'll have a nice big vanity. We'll have a tiled shower surround right here. So it's actually going to be a quite spacious bathroom for a rental, and this is going to turn out to be a really beautiful unit. The owners did a good job laying it out. It's wide open and spacious, and some couple or some single mother or family or whoever decides to rent this place is really going to have a nice, warm, safe, enjoyable place, even in the wintertime.
Once again, John, I'm very proud of you. From electrician to the king of basement income suites. Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live. I hope you enjoyed the rental footage. Stay tuned, more to come after this break.
When I was young, I was plagued by fear and self-pity.
My life was in shambles.
At first, I never drank on the job, but eventually I did.
Removing alcohol wasn't enough. It left me depressed. That's where AA offered a solution.
I remember sitting in the AA meeting and thinking, I finally found a place where I belong.
AA not only keeps me sober, it helps me live a much better life.
If you have a problem with alcohol, contact AA. It works for me.
And for me.
And for me.
It's just another 1,000. This investment's a sure thing. You're so sweet. I'll return your bank card next time I see you. Sign the check or find someone else to look after you.
No one should ever pressure or trick you into giving money. Learn the signs of financial abuse of seniors. Visit seniors.gc.ca. A message from the Government of Canada.
Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live. John, you there?
I'm here.
Our heartfelt, warm thank you for accompanying me today. Last 2 episodes in a row. You've been an awesome guest. We've had a lot of fun with you.
Appreciate it, Bob.
I hope you can say the same back to me.
Yeah, unfortunately, I got to see you tomorrow, so otherwise I would say.
We got a
I appreciate you having me on. It's been a lot of fun.
We got a busy one tomorrow, but this won't be the last time. I believe you've been a part of every single one of my seasons, and I will let the viewers know where to watch those episodes. Thank you again, John. Until next time, and see you tomorrow.
Thanks for having us, guys.
To the viewers at home, again, remember, this show is interactive. Send us your email questions, askbob@cable14.com. Tweet them at Just Ask Bob, or pick up the phone and call 905-645-3232. And please remember, we cover just about every topic from the foundation to the roof and everything in between, and also any horror stories you may have with your current or past contractor. Did he steal the deposit? Did he track mud through your home? Was he rude to you and your family? Call it all into the program. Now, to contact me after the show, largest database on the net, teaching database, www.justaskbob.com. Again, that's www.justaskbob.com, where you can watch past episodes from the past 6 seasons. We've just uploaded season 6 last year, 11 episodes. So there's a lot of content for you. Thank you again. See you next week.